This video uses some different ideas to those used in my previous video, the Pahari Princess, one of which is opening doors to describe the different techniques employed. I redesigned the apertures of the mount and decided to use both gold and silver transfer leaf laid directly onto the mount board or onto a previously gessoed area. I worked out the dimension of the required area and drew this lightly onto the mount board and taped off the area using 3M removable tape. Using acrylic gesso, I then gessoed this area and applied an acrylic size. Leaving the size for several minutes, I then carefully laid the transfer gold or silver onto this area, lightly burnishing it to ensure a good fix, and then remove the tape. I made an error when cutting the aperture. Normally the head roller runs along the inside of the aperture, but for the two cuts at the apex of the mount, the roller reverses and runs along the leaf. This resulted in the surface of the leaf being scuffed. The solution was simple: to cut the aperture face down and reverse the angle of cut. The second stage was to infill the reveal between the top and the bottom mounts. I incorporated a new design for the bottom mount based on the design of a doorway arch that I saw in the Museum de Marcine in Marrakesh. Again, I worked out the dimensions, drew them lightly on the mount board, glued the infill paper to the board, and then cut the aperture. The next step was to paint the bevels on both mounts, using either gold or silver acrylic paint. The third stage was to decide upon and place the border panels in place. The border panels I use are taken from a number of different books that I have collected over the years I have been interested in Persian and Mughal art. The relevant panels were scanned, modified, and then printed. They were then cut to size and glued in position. But before gluing, I marked an area for the glue, leaving a space so the panels could be easily mitered at the corners. Once the border panels were in position, the mitres were cut and a final application of adhesive was used to secure the corners. The final touch before scattering gold or silver was to draw one ruled line around the edge of the border. Finally, before assembly, the next stage was to scatter the gold or the silver. I used two sizes of flaked leaf, first leaf petals and second bricole crumbs or flakes number 5. Methyl cellulose is brushed onto the surface of the board, and then, using bamboo tweezers, I laid the packed petals haphazardly upon the board, followed by the smaller crumbs to fill in the gaps. The final assembly is, as normal, hinging the two window mounts to the undermount along the longest side and using T-hinges to support the artwork. I hope you have found this video both interesting and instructional.